Life is too short to waste it being frustrated by people who are never going to change. There will always be someone who's critical, someone who's rude, someone who tries to pull you into conflict. But here's the key: you don't have to take the bait. When someone is being difficult, it's easy to react, fire back, get upset, prove your point. But that's exactly what the enemy wants. He knows if he can get you offended, bitter, constantly trying to straighten people out, he can keep you from your destiny. You can't control how people treat you, but you can control how you respond. A few years ago, I heard about a man who trained eagles. He said that when a crow starts attacking an eagle, picking at it, trying to bother it, the eagle doesn't fight back. It doesn't get down in the dirt, flapping its wings, trying to defend itself. No, it simply soars to a higher altitude, an altitude where the crow can't. That's what you have to do. Rise above the offense, rise above the insults, rise above the need to prove yourself. When people are rude, dismissive, or even cruel, don't let it get inside you. They may be difficult, but you don't have to let them steal your joy. Jesus didn't waste time arguing with people who were never going to change. When the Pharisees tried to trap him, he didn't get defensive. He didn't go on a social media rant. He stayed in peace and kept walking in purpose. Some of you are spending too much energy trying to fix what only God can fix. Some people are not your assignment. They're just a lesson. They're in your life to teach you patience, to stretch your faith, to prepare you for greater things. But they are not meant to stay in your inner circle forever. Don't carry what God is telling you to release. You might say, but they're lying about me. They're making me look bad. Listen, God is your defender. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to straighten everyone out. Keep your heart pure, keep your motives right, and God will take care of the rest. Today I challenge you, don't let difficult people pull you out of character. They may never change, but that's okay. You can change how you respond. Stay in peace, rise above, and watch how God takes you to new heights. One of the greatest lessons in life is realizing that you don't have control over how other people act, but you do have control over how you respond. So often we waste precious energy trying to change people, trying to get them to see things our way, act differently, treat us better, or stop doing things that frustrate us. But the truth is, you will never have complete control over another person. People are going to be who they are. Some will be kind, some will be difficult, some will be downright unfair. If you live trying to control them, you will always be frustrated. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, if they would just stop doing that, I'd be happy, or if they could just be more understanding, life would be easier? The problem is you're putting your peace in their hands. The moment you make your joy dependent on someone else's behavior, you're giving them power over your emotions. The good news is you don't have to live that way. You don't have to go through life upset because of how someone treats you. You don't have to wake up dreading the day because a coworker is rude or a family member is critical. That's not how God intended for you to live. You were created to have peace, joy, and a heart that is free from bitterness. But if you don't make a decision to take control of your responses, you will always be at the mercy of difficult people. Let's say you're driving to work and someone cuts you off. Your heart starts racing, and before you know it, you're mad, honking your horn, maybe even saying some things under your breath. The rest of your morning feels thrown off. But here's the thing. That person went on with their day. They aren't thinking about you. They didn't lose their peace. You did. Why? Because they made a bad decision. But you allowed it to steal your joy. Now, imagine if you had taken a different approach. What if instead of reacting, you stayed calm? What if you reminded yourself, I can't control them, but I can control me. I'm not going to let them ruin my day. Just like that, you would have kept your peace. You would have walked into work with a clear mind, rather than carrying frustration over something you couldn't change. When you take responsibility for your emotions, something powerful happens. You become unshakable. No longer do you let every little irritation upset you. No longer do you let people's bad attitudes dictate your mood. You step into a place of strength, knowing that no one has the power to make me miserable unless I give them permission. It's easy to blame others for our frustration. They just get on my nerves. They know how to push my buttons. But do you know what that really means? It means you have buttons that can be pushed. If you strengthen your heart, if you become disciplined in your reactions, people won't have the same effect on you. They can be rude, but you stay kind. They can be critical, but you stay confident. They can be difficult, but you stay in peace. One of the best things you can do in life is learn how to let things go. Not everything deserves a reaction. Not every offense needs to be addressed. Some things you have to just shake off. When people are being difficult, don't engage in their negativity. If they're always complaining, don't argue with them. Just keep your joy. If they're being rude, don't let it get in your spirit. Just stay kind. If they're trying to pull you into drama, step back and refuse to take part. Jesus set the ultimate example. He had people criticize him, mock him, lie about him, and betray him, yet he never allowed their actions to change who he was. He didn't waste time trying to make everyone like him or prove himself to those who doubted. He simply stayed focused on his mission, walking in peace and love. That's the same mindset you need to have. Some people will never change. Some will always be negative. Some will always try to stir up conflict, but don't let them pull you out of character. The more you practice self-control, the less power people will have over your emotions. The next time someone is difficult, stop and remind yourself, I can't control them, but I can control me. I choose peace. I choose joy. I choose to walk in wisdom. The moment you do that, you step into the life of freedom that God intended for you to have. Don't take the bait. Every day you will encounter situations where you have the opportunity to either stay in peace or get pulled into negativity. People will say things that offend you, do things that frustrate you, or act in ways that challenge your patience. But here's the key. You don't have to take the bait. Difficult people are like fishermen casting a line. They throw out words, actions, and attitudes designed to provoke a reaction. They want you to bite, to get entangled in an argument, to lose your cool. But you have a choice. You can rise above it or take the bait. Think about a fisherman. He can stand there all day casting his line, but if the fish never bite, nothing happens. In the same way, people can throw out criticism, rudeness, and offense, but if you refuse to engage, their words lose power. The problem is, too often we take the bait. Someone makes a sarcastic remark, and we fire back. A family member pushes our buttons, and we let them ruin our whole day. A coworker is disrespectful, and we feel like we have to prove a point. But what are we really doing? We're giving them control over our emotions. One of the enemy's favorite strategies is to use people to distract and discourage you. He knows if he can get you constantly offended, frustrated, and caught up in drama, he can keep you from reaching your full potential. That's why you have to recognize what's happening and refuse to take the bait. Think about Jesus. The Pharisees were always trying to trap him with their words. They would ask him trick questions, twist his teachings, and even spread lies about him. But Jesus never took the bait. He didn't waste time arguing, trying to convince them, or proving himself. He simply kept walking in peace, staying focused on his mission. If you want to live a life of peace and purpose, you have to do the same. Not every comment needs a response. Not every battle is worth fighting. When someone is rude to you, your natural reaction might be to put them in their place. When someone gossips about you, you might want to set the record straight, but ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Is this worth my peace? Most of the time, the answer is no. A while back, I heard a story about a man who was walking his dog in the park. Suddenly, another man with a very aggressive dog started yelling at him, blaming him for something that didn't even happen. The man had two choices. He could argue, defend himself, and match the other person's anger, or he could simply walk away. He chose to walk away, and as he did, a bystander told him, "Wow, I would have let him have it." The man smiled and said, "I have too much peace to waste on that." That's the attitude you need to have. Your peace is too valuable. Your joy is too important. Your time is too precious to waste on petty arguments and unnecessary conflicts. Let people be wrong. Let them say what they want. Let them act how they want. But don't let them pull you into their negativity. The next time someone is rude, instead of reacting, take a deep breath and remind yourself, I don't have to take the bait. I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to let this get inside me. When you do that, you stay in control. You keep your peace. And most importantly, you stay on the path God has for you. Rise above the toxicity. Difficult people will always be a part of life. Some will criticize you. Some will spread negativity. Some will do everything they can to push your buttons. But here's the key. You don't have to let them pull you into their chaos. You don't have to let their toxicity poison your spirit. It's easy to get caught up in drama, to let someone's bad attitude bring you down, to feel like you have to respond to every rude comment. But if you're not careful, you'll spend all your time fighting battles that aren't even worth fighting. You can't live in peace if you're constantly engaging in conflict. Have you ever watched how an eagle handles a storm? It doesn't panic. It doesn't try to fight the wind. Instead, it spreads its wings and lets the storm lift it higher. While other birds are struggling, the eagle is soaring. That's how God wants you to live. When difficulty comes, when negativity surrounds you, when people try to bring you down, don't engage, elevate. Maybe someone at work is constantly trying to stir up trouble. They're gossiping, spreading rumors, making things difficult. Your first reaction might be to confront them, to set the record straight, to prove your point. But here's the truth. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Some battles aren't worth fighting. Some people aren't worth your energy. Instead of getting drawn into the drama, take the high road. Protect your peace. Rise above. Think about Jesus. The Pharisees constantly tried to trap him with their words. They twisted his teachings, spread lies, and criticized him at every turn. But Jesus never wasted time trying to convince them. He never let their negativity shake him. Instead, he stayed focused on his purpose and kept moving forward. The higher you go in life, the more critics you will have. The more you step into your calling, the more opposition you will face. But don't let that distract you. Don't fight battles that don't matter. Don't waste energy on people who refuse to see your worth. Some people are simply committed to misunderstanding you. No matter how much you explain yourself, they'll still twist your words. No matter how much you do for them, they'll still find something to criticize. You have to accept that not everyone will like you, not everyone will support you, and that's okay. Your destiny is not tied to their approval. Your joy is not dependent on their validation. Your purpose is bigger than their opinion. When you rise above negativity, you take back control. You refuse to let difficult people dictate your mood. You refuse to let their actions steal your joy. You walk with confidence, knowing that you are too valuable to be weighed down by other people's toxicity. So the next time someone tries to drag you into an argument, choose to rise above. The next time someone criticizes you unfairly, choose to rise above. The next time you're tempted to engage in conflict, remind yourself that eagles don't waste time with crows. Stay in peace, stay focused, and watch how high God takes you. Kill them with kindness. One of the most powerful ways to deal with difficult people is not by fighting back, not by proving a point, but by responding with kindness. When someone is rude to you, your natural reaction might be to be rude in return. When they insult you, you may feel like setting them straight. But here's the truth. Negativity can't drive out negativity. Darkness can't drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Difficult people expect a reaction. They expect you to get upset, to argue, to defend yourself. That's why kindness is such a powerful weapon. It catches them off guard. When someone is short with you, instead of snapping back, try responding with grace. When a coworker is being difficult, instead of avoiding them, try being extra kind. When a family member is critical, instead of letting it ruin your mood, try showing them love. Kindness disarms negativity. The Bible says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Proverbs 15:01. That means when you respond with kindness, you don't just keep your peace, you also create the opportunity to change the atmosphere. You shift the situation. Instead of escalating the conflict, you diffuse it. Instead of feeding the tension, you bring calm. That doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It doesn't mean you ignore toxic behavior. It simply means you don't let their negativity pull you out of character. You stay true to who you are. You choose kindness, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Think about Jesus. He was mocked, lied about, falsely accused, and even betrayed by those closest to him. Yet he never repaid evil with evil. When he was on the cross, after being beaten and humiliated, he didn't curse his accusers. He prayed for them. That kind of love is not weakness, it's strength. That kind of kindness doesn't come from the flesh. It comes from a heart that is secure in God. You may have people in your life who test your patience. They may be unfair, rude, or even hostile toward you. But here's what you have to remember. How they treat you is their choice. How you respond is yours. Don't let their behavior dictate your attitude. Don't let their bitterness make you bitter. Keep your heart pure. Stay kind. There's a story about a man who worked at a company where one of his coworkers constantly mistreated him. She ignored him, spoke down to him, and never showed him any respect. But instead of getting offended, instead of treating her the same way, he made a decision to go out of his way to be kind to her. Every morning he greeted her with a smile. Every time she was cold, he responded with warmth. Over time, something amazing happened. Her attitude started to change. She softened. One day she broke down in tears and apologized. She admitted she had been going through a difficult time and had been taking it out on him. His kindness had melted her hard heart. You never know what people are going through. Hurt people hurt people. Many times their negativity has nothing to do with you. It's simply a reflection of their own struggles. When you choose kindness, you are not just keeping your peace. You might be planting a seed that changes their heart. So today, I challenge you. The next time someone is difficult, respond with love. The next time someone insults you, smile and walk away. The next time someone tries to stir up conflict, choose peace. Your kindness is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. And when you do that, watch how God blesses you. Watch how He fights your battles. Watch how He elevates you to new heights. Because when you stay kind, nothing and no one can hold you back from the destiny He has for you. Set healthy boundaries. Dealing with difficult people doesn't mean you have to tolerate mistreatment. It doesn't mean you have to let them drain your energy, steal your joy, or take advantage of your kindness. Love is not weakness. Forgiveness is not an open door for abuse. There comes a time when you have to set healthy boundaries. Not out of anger, not out of bitterness, but out of wisdom. Some people thrive on drama. No matter how kind you are, no matter how much you try to keep the peace, they are determined to stir up trouble. You have to recognize when someone is not just difficult, but toxic. when their negativity is no longer just an inconvenience, but a distraction, a burden, or a source of stress in your life, that's when you have to draw a line. Jesus walked in love, but he also knew how to set boundaries. He didn't let the Pharisees waste his time with endless arguments. He didn't chase after those who rejected him. Even when he performed miracles, he didn't force anyone to believe. He spoke the truth, and if they didn't receive it, he moved on. That's an important lesson. You don't have to keep engaging with people who refuse to respect you. Some of you have been spending too much energy trying to please people who will never be satisfied. You've been trying to win over people who are committed to misunderstanding you. But you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You don't have to live in a cycle of frustration, constantly trying to fix relationships that are unhealthy. There is freedom in learning to love people from a distance. Maybe there's someone in your life who is always critical. No matter what you do, they find something wrong. You can set a boundary. You can limit how much time you spend with them. You can decide, I'm not going to sit here and listen to negativity all day. That's not being rude. That's guarding your heart. Maybe you have a friend who constantly takes advantage of your kindness. Every time they need something, they call you, but when you need support, they're nowhere to be found. You can set a boundary. You can say, I love you, but I can't always drop everything to meet your needs. That's not being selfish. That's having wisdom. Maybe there's someone in your workplace who is always gossiping, always stirring up trouble. You don't have to confront them or get into an argument, but you can set a boundary. You can make the decision, I'm not going to participate in negativity. I'm not going to let their drama get into my spirit. That's not being antisocial. That's protecting your peace. The Bible says in Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. That means you have to be intentional about who and what you allow into your space. Not everyone deserves access to your emotions. Not everyone should have influence over your thoughts. If someone is constantly bringing you down, it's okay to step back. It's okay to distance yourself. You can love people, pray for them, and still choose to protect your peace. You can forgive them, release them, and still decide that you're not going to keep putting yourself in situations where you are disrespected or drained. When you set boundaries, you free yourself to walk in joy. You free yourself from unnecessary stress. You free yourself to focus on what truly matters. Some people won't like it. Some may get upset, but at the end of the day, your peace is more important than their opinion. So today, make the decision, I will not allow difficult people to steal my joy. I will not let toxic relationships drain my energy. I will walk in love, but I will also walk in wisdom. And as you do, watch how God surrounds you with the right people. People who uplift you, encourage you, and help you step into everything He has for you. Let God be your defender. When dealing with difficult people, it's tempting to want to set the record straight, to prove yourself, to fight every battle that comes your way. But here's the truth. You don't have to defend yourself. God will do it for you. Some people will misunderstand you no matter what you do. Some will criticize you no matter how hard you try. Some will spread rumors, twist your words, or try to bring you down. But you don't have to waste your time worrying about what they say or trying to change their minds. You have a defender. You have a God who sees everything, who fights for you, who takes care of every injustice. Look at David in the Bible. He was anointed to be king, but before he could take the throne, he spent years being chased by King Saul. Saul was jealous of David, spreading lies about him, trying to kill him. David had every reason to fight back, to retaliate, to prove himself. But instead, he made a decision. He let God handle it. He refused to take revenge, refused to waste energy on someone who was determined to see him fail. And in the end, God took care of Saul, and David stepped into his destiny. That's what happens when you let God be your defender. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to respond to every critic. You don't have to chase down every rumor. Go, stay in peace and let God handle it. Some of you have been losing sleep over what someone said about you. You've been carrying stress because someone mistreated you. You've been frustrated, trying to prove yourself, trying to make people see the truth. But God is saying, let it go. Trust me to handle it. I see what they did. I know what was unfair. I know how they hurt you. But if you stay in faith, I will be your defender. I will be your vindicator. I will make things right. Isaiah 54:17 says, no weapon formed against you will prosper. That means people may come against you, but they will not succeed. Their words cannot stop your purpose. Their actions cannot block your destiny. If you stay in peace, if you refuse to let their negativity pull you down, God will fight your battles. Sometimes the best thing you can do is stay silent and let your success speak for itself. Let your character prove who you are. Let your consistency show what kind of person you are. The people who need to see the truth will see it in time. When Jesus was falsely accused, when he was mocked, spit on, and beaten, he could have called down an army of angels to defend him. He could have silenced his critics in an instant, but he didn't. He stayed silent. He trusted God to handle it. And because of his obedience, he was resurrected in victory. That's what God will do for you. The people who tried to bring you down, the ones who spread lies, the ones who mistreated you, one day they will see that God's hand is on your life. One day they will see that no matter what they did, they couldn't stop you from rising higher. So today, let go of the frustration. Let go of the need to explain yourself. Let go of the battle. Let God be your defender. When you trust Him to fight for you, you'll walk in peace, you'll stay in joy, and you'll see Him open doors no one can shut. Because when God is on your side, nothing and no one can stand against you. Leave with peace. No matter what challenges you face with difficult people, always choose to walk away with your peace intact. Don't let their negativity live in your heart. Protect your joy, guard your spirit, and keep moving forward. Love from a distance. You can forgive people without inviting them back into your space. You can pray for them without tolerating their toxicity. Set boundaries, walk in wisdom, and surround yourself with those who uplift you. Trust God's plan. Some people are in your life to teach you patience, strength, and endurance. Others are there to push you closer to God. Instead of resenting them, see them as part of the process that is shaping you into who you are meant to be. Focus on what matters. Don't waste time engaging in every argument, responding to every insult, or proving yourself to people who refuse to see your worth. Keep your eyes on your purpose and let your success speak for itself. Rise higher. You were not created to live in frustration, bitterness, or drama. You were meant to soar. Keep your heart pure, your mind at peace, and your spirit lifted. When you refuse to be dragged down, nothing and no one can stop you from reaching new heights. Let God handle the rest. When you trust God to fight your battles, you can walk in confidence knowing that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Keep loving, keep forgiving, keep rising, and watch how He elevates you beyond what you ever imagined.